TV English, the solution for humanity.
Raising up champions. We want them to be champions. We want them to get out there and do good. We want them to be the best doctors, the best engineers, the best professors, the best business people. We want our children to be the best. Of course, I'm putting an emphasis on Islam. I want to see our children be scholars of Islam, Hafiz of the Quran. I want to see them really get involved in what our religion is teaching.
As our next speaker for the evening, inshallah, will be our dear brother Yusuf Estes from the USA. A brief background about the Sheikh. Yusuf Estes is especially loved by young Muslims who call him the funny Sheikh. Children and adults alike all delight to hear Yusuf Estes talking about how he came to Islam whilst trying to convert a Muslim from Egypt to become a Christian. It's truly an amazing story which makes you laugh and cry at the same time. After embracing Islam, Yusuf Estes was a US federal chaplain as well as a delegate to the United Nations Peace Summit for religious leaders. He now runs hundreds of websites promoting Islam. His lectures in universities are for all faiths, and even rabbis, ministers, preachers and priests complement his way of presenting a fresh and enlightening picture of the world's fastest growing religion, Islam. Sheikh Yusuf brings many new people to Islam using straight talk while answering many of the harsh attacks against Islam and Muslims. He makes it fun and easy for all to understand Islam. So I would like to invite to take the podium and address us this evening our dear brother, Sheikh Yusuf Estes from the USA, to address the topic, Bringing Up Champions. Our brother, Yusuf Estes.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulullah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa la sharika lah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Assalamu alaikum. Ho! MashaAllah. My name's Yusuf. Can you say Yusuf? Very good. You know, my wife still says useless. I don't know. Could be a speech problem. The subject that we want to talk about tonight is a very near and dear subject to me, the subject of tarbiyah. But we didn't want to leave it in Arabic language, so we translated it more or less as raising up champions. Because tarbiyah deals with the subject of how we educate and raise our children. One of the problems, of the many problems facing Muslims today, is how do we deal with our youth? Now, whether you live in the East or the West or somewhere in between, there's always this subject of how can I raise my children the best way? And it's a very important thing because each and every one of these children is amana, a trust from Allah. And Allah will ask us about it. You've heard it from many of our speakers when they tell us what means in English, "O you who believe, save yourselves and your family, your children, from a fire whose fuel is men and stones." There's a hadith of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ that means something like this, that out of every 1,000 people, 999 of those people, they're not going to make it. That means only 1 out of 1,000 really will accept this message of La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah and do something about it. We hear oftentimes the same verses recited again and again, telling us the importance of calling to Islam. But before we even get into tonight's topic, I want to remind myself and share with all of you that when we talk about the word da'wah, this word is being grossly abused. When we talk about giving da'wah to Muslims, da'wah to our Muslim family, da'wah to our Muslim children, it's inappropriate to use this word in this way. Because actually da'wah is to call people who are not Muslim to Islam. The word in Arabic that we're looking for is actually Islah. This is, according to our scholars, a much better way to describe encouraging and bringing each other closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the Quran, one of the most famous of all of the chapters, and I'm sure all of you memorized it when you were little guys, Allah says, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim, wal asr, innal insana lafi khusr, illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihati wa tawassaw bil haqq wa tawassaw bis sabr." And again, you've heard people translate this and give the meaning of it, interpret it, and I don't want to bore you with that. But for the sake of audiences that may hear this in the future, that maybe they don't know Islam, don't know Arabic, I'll endeavor to give you just a little overview of it. Allah here is swearing by something amazing. When He says, "Wal asr," He's swearing by the actual passage of time, something about which we have little, if any, real concept. We think we know what time is, don't we? But how long have I been talking? How long will I talk? And how long before you'll forget everything I said? When you're sitting at the traffic light or tied up in traffic, it seems like it goes on and oh, many hours. But you look at your watch, it was only a few seconds. But when you're watching a soccer match or a cricket game, it seems like just a few seconds. Oh, here's another commercial. And then a few more seconds and it's all over. Why? Because, of course, the things we like and enjoy, seems like that passes quickly. And Allah swears by this time. But what did He swear? And that's what's even more important, isn't it? He said, for sure, inna, certainly. Then He's used the word insan. Now, insan doesn't just mean Muslims. It doesn't mean men. It doesn't mean women. It means every single human being. All of them. La fi khus. They are in what? What is khusr? Al-khasireen, these are the ones that are considered losers. So human beings are in a state of being bankrupt. When we know about bankruptcy today, you're seeing in all the newspapers, so many different organizations going bankrupt, people declaring their bankruptcy. It just means they can't pay their bills. In Islam, khusr means the one who on the day of judgment, on the day of accountability, they can't pay up because they don't have the right ingredients. They don't have the right denomination to be able to do it. They can't. That's all the human beings basically going to hell. That's it. Then a beautiful word comes. Illa ladina. Except for those who have iman, the correct kind of iman, in Allah, as one and only one. And, it's not over. And they do the amal salihat, the righteous deeds. Still not over. Watawasaw. What is that? It means to encourage and push each other, shove each other. Come on, guys, let's go. And again, why? Tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bis sabr. To encourage each other in all that is the truth of La ilaha illallah, and to encourage, exhort each other to have perseverance, steadfastness, and patience. But all of the words that I just said are much more profound in Arabic than they are in English. English is very weak when it comes to trying to understand the depth, the gravity of the Arabic of the Quran. But did you understand what I told you, the Hadith of Rasul, that almost every single person is going to go to hell? This should scare you because we're human beings. I dare say we've already got more than 1,000 people here right now. Does that mean that only one of us is going to go to paradise? Well, there's more good news, by the way. Some very good news. That not all the human beings are represented here. In fact, the Muslims are supposed to be the exception to that rule, aren't they? But what do we do? And I'm going to talk about current events. What do we do in the face of some very real statistics when we find that the Muslim children, the Muslim youth, are leaving Islam? I've seen it with my own eyes.
Every human being can agree to disagree or disagree to agree. Dispute superstitions and refute the myth which is created around the word religion, which is misinterpreted, misconstrued, and misjudged. Let's wake up from delusion and step into the world of reality with confidence. Find all the answers to confront or defy, reject or accept, dispute or challenge when caught in crossfire.
Misconceptions clarified, falsehood exposed, and truth revealed. Discover the reality with Dr. Zakir Naik in Crossfire, every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. and repeat telecast at 12:30 p.m. UK on Peace TV.
Now, not all of them are declaring that they want to be a kafir. Not all of them are saying, I don't want to be a Muslim anymore. But by their very acts, their very deeds, the very things that they're sending me in emails, putting on websites, and that social network like Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, which I call my disgrace, we're seeing things and hearing things from our youth that scare us. I already knew before I came here that I wanted to talk on this subject of our youth and how to raise them up. But I had no idea how much Allah really wanted to drive the point home to me. The person who was supposed to take me to the airport didn't show up. They didn't come. So I asked my wife if she would take me to the airport. It's a long drive, but she said, yeah, let's go. We loaded up the old van and got ready to go out. And just as I was backing out of the driveway, a car pulled up, a van. So I thought maybe this is the people who are supposed to take me. I don't know what their car looks like. Then somebody got out, salam alaikum, wa alaikum salam. I said, are you the one supposed to take me? He said, take you where? I said, to the airport. He said, you need to go to the airport? I said, no, it's okay. My wife will take me. No. He says, I'll take you. All right. So I get in the van with him. We loaded up the stuff. He said, I came all the way over here to talk to you. It's an emergency. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to turn. I need help. And you're the only one that can help me. And I told him, if I'm the only one that can help you, you really do have a problem. What is it? He said, it's my children. And I wish that he was the only one who ever said it. But he's not. It's happening again and again and again and again. A sister comes and tells me about her brother. A brother tells me about his sister. The siblings telling about each other. Uncles, aunts, cousins, all contacting me with emails, phone calls. They're asking, help me, help us. But the problem is, they're coming to me just after the person has already left Islam. Just after the person has already gone to jail for drugs. Just after somebody is diagnosed with some kind of terminal disease that they got by doing whatever. In other words, they're coming and it's too late. And this was the same case. When the brother's telling me, my kids, I put them in the university. And now they're questioning Islam, they're this, they're that, so and so. And I said, when did you first think about this? He said, I've been too busy. Akhi, you know, I've got to take care of this and that. I have my job, I have my part-time job, a business I'm trying to start. I don't have time. So what will you tell Allah on the Day of Judgment about the way you raised your kids? Huh? This is serious. Some of you are young. You're not even married yet. Planning on getting married, or you're just recently married, going to start your family. Some of you have some children at home, little guys. But the fact is, if you don't start thinking about it right this minute, my question is going to be, when are you going to think about it? Is it going to be after you look up and see your child in this condition? Whether they're on drugs, in jail, or left Islam, all of these things, that's when it's too late. Now, ordinarily, you see me with the children on TV and we're playing and having fun and talking about Islam. But this is a time for me to be serious with you about those children, because I can't sit with all of them. I wish I could. But you can do something right now. First thing is, I don't care if you remember me or what I said, but you need to think about what you're going to say on the Day of Judgment. What will you say to Allah about taking care of your family? And it's not about the food, and it's not about the house and the clothes and the education, which all of us put such a high value on. There's a bigger value that comes first, isn't it? The iman in Allah. Isn't that first? Those who, like myself, come to Islam by choice, it seems like they have a better grasp of that. You know why? We've already been there. We've already seen that. We know what it's all about, and we know what it doesn't do. We want to encourage ourselves, all of us, to make use of this time while we still have it. What does Islam tell us about our children? A hadith of the Prophet ﷺ has had such an impact that we've used it in many ways, usually when we talk about dawah. But actually, the hadith wasn't about dawah, it was about how to raise your children. The Prophet ﷺ used a word in Arabic called fitra. Now you know which hadith I want to tell you, don't you? The Prophet ﷺ said every child is born on the fitra of al-Islam. But it is their parents who will raise them up to be a Christian, a Jew, a fire worshiper. whatever they become is going to be really by the way they were raised up. Is that true or not? Have you heard it? You've heard it. And that's why today in English we say when somebody came to Islam, we even use this hadith to come up with a word in English, revert, instead of saying convert. You're saying you revert, you're just going back to your natural status, the way you were when you came into the world, the innocence, the beauty of the baby. You know, the little baby, say, oh, mashallah, look, you know, how innocent they are. And as true as it is, it's still not the main point, is it? The main point is you're supposed to be raising your children as Muslim. What does it take? I'm going to give a couple examples before I walk off the stage, if you don't mind. One example happened a number of years ago when one of our brothers from an Arab country, and by the way, he told me clearly to use his story for other people. I want you to know that. This is how much it had an impact. Anyway, I met him. He came to our masjid back when I used to have a mosque in Texas. And he said, oh, I'm meeting you today. This is very exciting to meet you and to also tell you some good news, some other exciting good news today. I said, okay, what is it? He said, today I put my son in American public school. I said, really? Why don't you put him in the toilet? He said, what? No, you didn't understand me. I put my son in American public school. I said, I understand you, and I think you understand me, but I'll tell you in Arabic, Hammam, why don't you put him in the toilet? He just looked at me like I was crazy. He said, why you said this? I said, because at least you could wash it off. Because the public school in my country has degraded down, deteriorated down to such a level, it's not fit to put children in anymore. And I warned him again, because we had schools that he could put his child in, but he was determined. Back home, that looks so good. My son's in American public school. Woo-hoo. The sad news is I was right, and I wish I would be wrong. About 7 years later, after I moved up to Washington, D.C., the same brother had moved not very far from me. He called me on the phone, I got to talk to you. Please come to my house immediately. I went, and I had a brother with me, and we went, and on the way over, I was telling him the same story I just told you. Huh? Same story. I just told him, you know, when I met this guy, I told him, put your kid in the toilet, it's better than public school. When we got there, the brother gave us the best hospitality. We sat on the floor, drank the coffee, and while we're sitting there, he said, okay, do you remember the first words you ever said to me 7 years ago when you met me? I said, yeah, I do very well. I was just telling him. I'm surprised you remember. He said, well, you were wrong. I said, okay. Actually, I'm glad. I've been wrong before. He said, no, you were really wrong. I said, okay. He said, you should have told me it's 10 times better to put him in a toilet than to put him into school. I've lost my son. What should I say? What should I do? He started crying. We talked about it. We found many problems. Most of them related to the fact that the father just didn't get it in his mind. You can't do it like that. Islam has a prescribed way for everything. Everything. And if you follow it, it will work. If you don't, you're on your own. Yes or no? Does that make sense? All right. How do we raise our children? Let's start with that. First of all, from the time they're born, does Islam tell us what to do when they're born? And then a certain few days later, that we take the hair of the head and weigh it, cut it, weigh it, and give an equal amount of charity of silver. The point isn't about the fiqh. The point is to look and ask, what am I supposed to be doing when my child is born? What am I supposed to be doing? And don't we have a celebration? Huh? We have a celebration where we bring the people and feed them and tell them, oh, we have a child that was born. Yeah. But we find today people are ignoring that. Instead, we celebrate their birthday. Were we told to celebrate their birthday? No. We were told to celebrate their birth. Did we do that? No. And then we wonder why there's a problem later. And as long as you're going to celebrate the birthday, well, you got to bring a cake, you got to have ice cream, you got to have candles. Never mind that those candles are coming from another religion. But you didn't know that, so it doesn't really matter, does it? What's happening to us? What's happening to us? The way that we raise our children up, and they're not seeing us. And when they do see us, we're not really following Islam. How are we going to explain that on the Day of Judgment?
The value of money in the hereafter will be measured by its proper use in the present.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا أنفقوا مما رزقناكم من قبل أن يأتي يوم لا بيع فيه ولا خلة ولا شفاعة.
According to the glorious Quran, one of the best ways to use your money is to spend it in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by spreading His message of Islam. Peace TV is a non-profit Islamic satellite television channel that is primarily dedicated for just that cause, the proper presentation of Islam. It's a great choice to invest in it and a golden opportunity to purify your wealth in a way that pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Support Peace TV. Send your zakat and donations to IRFI Al Ryan Bank, 47 Calthorpe Road, Birmingham, UK, B151TH. Pound account number 011-32301. IBAN GB49ARAY 30008301 132301. Sort code 300083. Swift BIC code ARAY GB22. Please confirm your contribution at support@peacetv.tv.
Support Peace TV, the solution for humanity.
Osama El Shami.
How can we get our children ready for the month of Ramadan?
Sharing the stories of what the Muslims have been through in the past, in particular the first generation.
Nazir Irfan Al Mujahid.
Make this Ramadan very special to them.
Your taqwa, your righteousness, your goodness.
I want you to tell me about your experiences from the very first Ramadan that you experienced as a new Muslim.
The first Ramadan I experienced was amazing.
Omar Debua.
When I embraced Islam, it was like I was prepared. You know, Allah prepared me for something that I had no idea. It was an amazing experience. Beautiful, beautiful.
My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, welcome to our program, The Straight Path.
Build your character on the path of the Quran and Sunnah in The Straight Path. Today at 3 p.m. and repeat telecast at 1 a.m. UK on Peace TV.